Welcome to this edition of Collier Focus. On today's show, we'll take a look at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. Red light camera fines take another turn. And the voters will have a chance to weigh in on fire consolidation. I'm Troy Miller. We'll cover these stories and more next on Collier Focus. Stay tuned.
Whether reporting on the latest news stories or hot issues, taking a look at county government services, or announcing what's happening around the county, this is Collier Focus, bringing government home.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, red light cameras were once again on the agenda. A new state law, which goes into effect on July 1st, gives the state the power to establish rules and guidelines for red light cameras. Among the new rules is a fine amount of $158 and right on red infraction language that, according to the Sheriff's Office, will all but eliminate those citations. The board instituted the red light camera program at the Sheriff's request. Since the program's inception a year ago, about 85% of the camera tickets issued were for illegal right turns on red. A majority of the board made it clear that the right turn on red camera citations would need to be eliminated for the program to continue in Collier County.
I want to tell you at this point in time, I'm not going to support red light cameras if we are going to have cameras set up that's going to work on the right on red. I'm just not going to do it. So I have to have some sort of assurance that as we're going forward and the negotiations take place with the vendor, that this is fully understood and they're not doing a holding action until they can clear up the law at some point in the future where they can go ahead and activate the right on red cameras.
In the next 30 days, county staff will negotiate a new contract with the camera vendor, which will be brought back to the board for review. The new state law governing red light cameras goes into effect on July 1st. The board considered a recommendation to place a straw ballot referendum on the November 2nd ballot concerning consolidation of the independent fire districts. A straw poll or straw vote is a vote with non-binding results. Before any consolidation could take place, the state legislature would need to take action for the creation of a new district, and voters in current districts would have to approve any merger. Commissioners heard comments from the public on both sides of the issue. There are 5 independent fire districts and 2 dependent fire districts located throughout unincorporated Collier County. Before the vote, commissioners voiced their opinions.
There's been talk about consolidation for 20 plus years now, and they're almost there. 2 years ago, I was going to ask to have this put on the ballot, and 2 good friends of mine took me to lunch and they talked me out of it because they were almost there, and they really didn't need to have a ballot item mess it all up. Well, that's 2 more years that was lost. So whatever we do with this, we want to make sure it's going to have enough meaning so that, 1, the taxpayers will understand it, and 2, it'll give enough direction to the fire commissioners that are out there now in the state legislative body so they'll start to enact whatever takes place. But I sincerely believe that once this moves forward, you're going to see things happen in a very, very fast rate of happening.
I don't think we could even answer that question yet until we get the information. And I don't know if the straw poll will solve anything, quite frankly. But nevertheless, we haven't tried it before. We've tried everything else.
If they say no, we can drop this whole thing about consolidation once and for all. If they say yes, then it needs to be pursued. They might not say yes in all the districts. But the bottom line is when you keep on talking about an issue over and over again, only assuming that you're in tune with what the people want without asking the people, it's not fair.
The independent fire departments are our friends. We work with them. They come to our meetings. They support their community. They know their community. When they see emergency calls, they know where it is and who they're working for. We have a close working relationship with them. The fire departments care about us. We care about them. And you hear the passion because people want that relationship because they're our first responders. They're the people who keep us safe, and we don't want to lose that.
In the end, a motion to approve a straw vote was passed in a 4-1 vote, with Commissioner Donna Fiala voting against the referendum. The language of the straw vote referendum to be sent to the Supervisor of Elections is as follows. Would you support consolidation of the 5 independent fire districts and 2 dependent fire districts into 1 independent fire district for unincorporated Collier County, provided that consolidation will improve efficiency and promote a more cost-effective use of tax dollars. Well, now that the 2010 state legislative session is over, and the county's lobbyist Keith Arnold reported to the board on this year's activities in Tallahassee. The county's list of legislative priorities included support for library funding, opposition to any attempts to undermine home rule authority, and opposition to raiding the state transportation fund. While the county didn't get everything on our wish list, our lobbying efforts certainly did yield results.
If it wasn't through all the efforts that you and Brett put forth, we wouldn't really have the success that we've had. I know that some of the items that we brought forth that we thought were very important did not get passed, but I think with perseverance we can address those same issues again next legislative session.
The $70.4 million budget passed by the state includes incentive money for Jackson Labs to locate a facility in Collier, provided that Collier County comes up with matching funds. The board discussed their displeasure over the current Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico and authorized Chairman Fred Coyle to send a letter on their behalf to communicate the board's desire to permanently prohibit drilling in Florida's waters.
All of us elected officials, whether it's local, state, or national, we have an obligation. We are custodians of the land, water, and air. And I think that what we need to do is change our practices such that we try to save things for future generations instead of maximizing maximum greed. And this is all that this is. This has been a good example of nothing more than greed to extract the resources, but not figuring out a plan in case something drastically went wrong. So, as we can see, the damage that's being incurred there up along the coastline of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and hopefully it's not going to be here and down in the Keys. But I've got some concerns that we need to take a better way of looking at things so that we protect the natural resources and protect this earth that we live on for future generations.
The letter will encourage our legislature and our governor, to support measures which will permanently prohibit drilling within Florida territorial waters. And secondly, to urge the federal government to establish appropriate oversight measures for all drilling that is accomplished outside of Florida waters over which we have no control, but which will likely affect us, and make sure there are no monetary limitations on our ability to recover damages from any organization that drills anywhere that causes damage to our economy and to our beaches. There is talk of the fact that there is a limit on how much we can recover. Well, there should not be a limit, and if it's a federal law that establishes that limit, we need to address that federal law. So those are the things that I would like to ask that you permit me to do.
For up-to-date information concerning the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, go to colliergov.net.